Hello everyone. Today we'll discuss about intrusion prevention and detection. First we'll see what actually this intrusion means. Intrusion, it is the act of gaining unauthorized access to a system so as to cause loss or harm here. So meaning of this one is, so unauthorized access means what? That person is not having the authority to access the system, then also forcibly or illegally the person will access the system, and intention of the person, if they access illegally, means what? Their intention is to harm the system. They will illegally access the system, and also that person will harm the system here. So now how they will access this one unauthorized access, how forcibly they will access, and what procedure they follow to get to access that particular system illegally. One way is unauthorized login. Unauthorized login means for all the authorized user, one password is there. With the help of that password, they prove that I am having the authority to access your system here. So now this unauthorized user, what they will do, they will access the password of authorized user. How they will access? By guessing the password or using the password guessing attack or dictionary attack. With the help of that attack, they will get the password of authorized user, and that password is used by this unauthorized user to access the system here. And one more way is worm infection. In the worm infection, they use the system launchpad. System launchpad, with the help of the system launchpad, they will access the systems, and it spreads from one machine to another machine. This is the one more way of accessing illegally. And one more is injection of spyware. Injection of spyware means what? Here this unauthorized user, so they passively monitor the communication, whatever the communication it takes place through online. So afterwards it perform the replay attack, and with the help of the replay attack they will get access to the system here. And next one is spurious connection request. Spurious connection request means continuously it send the request for the host to get connection. So now when this host will become burden, no, then in the burden they may allow that particular unauthorized user to access here. The spurious connection request is for establishing the connection, and you will burden the host in such a way that it may be exhaust the resources of the host here. How exhaust the resources of the host means it may be your CPU memory, or it may be the channel communication bandwidth. Okay, so in this way that unauthorized user will access the system here. Now question is how you will avoid from such type of the attacks here. So one way is intrusion prevention. You have to prevent, okay, you have to take a precautionary measures to prevent from the unauthorized users to access the system here. So that is what we call as a intrusion prevention. In the intrusion prevention, see here, this is the one diagram. These are the attackers, and these attackers want to access the system. Attackers means what? They are unauthorized user, and intention of the attacker is to harm this particular system. Okay, in the LAN, what are the systems are they? No, this system they want to harm now. So for that, what is the thing they will do now? They will take the help of the authorized user proof, and it send the request to the this LAN to communicate here and try to access the systems here. So now when it passed through the firewall also, so now firewall will check that that packet is contain what it is, authorized user information. So if it is genuine, then it forwards here. See, below that firewall you are having one more device, that is the intrusion prevention system here. What intrusion prevention system will do? One of the thing is here parameterized SQL queries. Parameterized SQL queries, these are the type of the queries, and these queries usually prevents from buffer overflow attack. You already know that. Okay, worms, usually if worms spread from one machine to another machine, how it will target the machines? Based on the buffer overflow. Okay, if buffer overflow is there, that machine it consider as a vulnerable machine, and based on that it will attack, it consider that one as a target and it attack the system here. To prevent from such type of the attacks, you can take the help of this parameterized SQL queries. These queries prevents from buffer overflow attacks here. Next, one more is there, sanitizing user input from HTML. This one, okay, this sanitizing user input from HTML, it prevents from cross-site attack here. Cross-site attack means, for example, if you click on any one of the genuine URL, that URL, whenever you click no, it diverts that from genuine to the this attacker URL, and in this way it attack that particular user, okay, with the help of that clicking on the URL. That is what you call as a cross-site attack. So from such type of the attacks you can prevent by using this one. Extensive training. Give the training to the system administrator. One of the way of getting authority is the password here. So now for the password they are trying the guessing. So now you have to develop a system in such a way that what are the password it takes, no, that password is highly impossible to guess here. That's why now if you are registered to the any system, first it asks the password. For the password also some criteria is there. What are those criteria? Minimum must be 8 characters and 1 uppercase character minimum, okay, 1 special character and 1 number. So these are the criteria you have to consider while giving any password here. If you follow those criteria, whatever the password you generate, no, that password is difficult to guess by the attackers here. So like that you have to train the system administrator to develop a system in such a way that it is highly impossible for the attackers to attack the system here. And one more training to the user, even for users also. When we use the password, no, time period of the password is also very important. That is what usually 2 months once you have to change your password. Don't keep the same password for the long period. That is also you are allowing the others to guess your password here. Like that, all precautionary measures if you are give as a training to the users and system administrator, then we can prevent from intrusion. Next one is hacking as a criminal offense. You have to tell that hacking is not a fun, it is a criminal activity. So that's why don't go for hacking, okay. So these are the some of the measurements used for which purpose? To prevent from the intrusion. Next is the detection and intrusion detection system. So now it is your aim is what you have to detect now. Okay, intrusion is already taken place, but my work is what? Now I have to detect that, and based on that I decide whether I have to forward or to discard that particular thing here. So now in the detection also you are performing the 3 tasks. First one is it monitors the events of interest. Events of interest means, as I told earlier, viruses can also generate as a system call. System call means what? It is the request for the operating system to perform some services. Okay. So now here you have to check for the system calls. So if any system call try to access, it is requesting the services of opening of confidential files or making changes in Windows registry. So all these are what? These are not the genuine request here. So meaning of this one is what? Intention of that system call is to harm the system here. Okay. So like that you have to observe if such type of the system calls, if it is there, then you consider that one is what? It is a intrusion, and you detect, and based on that you give the alarm to everyone that don't encourage such type of the system calls here. Next is establishment of a TCP connection. While establishing the TCP connection, you have to specify your source IP address and port number. The source IP address and port number also it matters here. For example, I'll take the example. If you are getting the continuously call from wrong numbers, first time if it is okay, second time, third time, if you receive, what is the thing you will do now? You will simply block that particular particular number. In the same way, from the same source IP address and some same port number, if you are continuously getting the request for establishing the connection, so then what is the thing here? It is not a correct one. So then you can discard that part. Means what? You don't allow the such type of the source to connect to the system here. Okay. Next is learning what is normal behavior. You have to observe. Means what? Here you have to check which one is normal and which one is abnormal. If you know the behaviors, so you have to train the system in such a way that it has to distinguish between normal behavior and abnormal behavior. So based on that, if it is abnormal behavior, then that one also will detect as an intrusion. So that is what you call as a detecting anomalous events. This is one example. Here you have to monitor various system or network variables. Continuously you have to monitor, and afterwards you have to analyze that particular system. Okay, after monitoring you have to make analysis. In the analysis, it may be based on recent values or it may be based on behavior of variables. That value and behavior matches the attack pattern. Okay, after monitoring, if it matches with the attack pattern, then you have to raise alert or alarm message. Okay, to inform the system administrator this is the intrusion. So you be alert, and at that system administrator what will do? That system administrator will send a scene message to the all the machines which are secure. Okay. So now for example, it is not a attack pattern. Okay, earlier some patterns are there. Those patterns you are stored in the database as a attack. Okay, abnormal behaviors as a attack patterns. If it is matches, it is okay. So that now that behavior is not matched with the stored patterns, then you will go to the no. But it is not a normal one. If you are observed the normal one, it is not coming inside the normal also. Then also you will consider that one as a anomalous behavior, and based on that also will raise the alert or alarm message here. In this way, this intrusion detection system detect the intrusion. In intrusion detection system also there are different types are there. First one is anomaly versus signature based. Anomalies, it is based on the behavior of the activity and usage and behavior. Okay, so now as I told here, you have to observe, you have to continuously monitor the system variables, and you have to differentiate between the normal and abnormal behaviors and usage. Okay, what are the resources your usage now, that usage also you have to verify, and based on that you decide whether it is a anomaly or not. Next one is the signature based. Signature based is misuse detection. Misuse detection is what? Identifying the specific patterns of events. So here you have to identify the specific patterns of the events here. Based on the event patterns, you have to decide whether it is a genuine or not here. Okay. So now here patterns of events, as I told earlier, for example, if I take system call as a one of the event here, so that system call is for normal request. Okay, if it is requesting the services of the operating system, if it is normal, then it is okay. If it is for the, as I told here, open the sensitive data content file, it is not a normal one. Any other file, if you are sending a service to open, then it is a normal here. Like that you have to identify the specific patterns of the events, and based on that you call that one as a signature based. So if it is a anomaly event, then you have to flagging of the such type of the events here. Next one is host based versus network based IDS, intrusion detection system. So one is software and resides host based. It is host based is what? Software and resides on top of the host operating system. You have to observe all the softwares and whatever it is resides on host operating system, that one you have to monitor. So for that you call as a monitor the internal behavior of the host here. Internal behavior of the host, one is operating system logs. Behavior of internal is based on operating system logs, that is logging. So now whenever you log in, no, it monitors the login behavior. If you are trying to enter for the any login, first attempt, if you are entered the wrong password, it allows. Second attempt, third attempt. If it is wrong, then what is the thing you have to do now? 3 times if you are entered the password wrong, then it is what? It is not a usual behavior. Then you have to start from entering the password. Up to at least 20 minutes you don't allow that particular user to enter the password here. Okay. That is one behavior. Next one more is, so now if you are using the connection, which type of the connections you are using, okay, and also which type of the commands you are executed, all those things also you have to observe. That is what you call as a operating system logs here. Next one is the application logs here. Application logs means, for example, if I take the any of the files here, okay, so now in the application, if you want to open that particular file, which type of the files you are open, and for running any of the programs or procedure, what are the register keys you are used, with the help of which register keys you are performing that operation, everything you have to observe. That observation is done by application logs here. Next one is file system integrity checker. File system integrity checker, that is to check for the integrity. You can take the help of the cryptographic hash function. So with the help of the cryptographic hash function, you can also check the integrity of the file here. So in this way you can detect the intrusion detect for the host based system here. Next one is network based system. For network based system, you have to capture the information about packets flowing through the network. What are the packets will flow through the network? No, all those packets you have to filter. Filter means you have to check for the source IP address, destination IP address, source port number, destination port number, or any sequence number you are using as a acknowledgement flags. Everything you have to check, and based on that you have to decide whether it is the normal or not here. These are the different types of the intrusion detection system. Next is features of IDS. Speed and accuracy is very important. For example, fast spreading internet worms. Now you have to detect. So now for detecting that, if you detect this internet worm, which one is spreading fastly using the multiple threads. Okay, with the help of the multiple threads, this worm is spreading fastly. Then your aim is what here? You have to early detect such type of the worms before it spread from one machine to another machine. You have to detect and you have to avoid from that worm here. So that is what you call as a early worm detection, and speed of that one must be fast here. Okay, before it is attacked you have to detect, then only it is useful. If it is already spreaded, after spreading if you are detect, no, there is no use here. So that's why early worm detection is very important. And sometimes what happens here, so you will detect that one, even you are not identifying that whether it is a malicious program or not, but that behavior is not normal here, it is anomalous. So the anomalous behavior, if it is there, no, then also don't allow. Okay, if you are having that is suspicious data, or it is suspicious packet, like that, if you have the field no, then also you have to avoid to forward that packet to the your machine or system here. So that time, what is the thing you have to make? You have to keep that one as a false negative. False negative means what it is? You have to study in detail about that particular this one, whether it is worm or not, or whether it is contain malicious program or not. Everything you have to study detailedly. After studying that, if you get to know that this is not a anomalous worm, it is not a abnormal one, then you can go for the further procedure. In this way you can detect or prevent from the intrusions. First, you can also prevent by taking the precautionary measures. Now if it is not possible to prevent, then early detection also works here. In this way you can avoid from the intrusions. Thank you.